All right, my apologies. I was having a really bad connection. All right, please just let me know if you can see me now before we share the screen. All right, thank you. All right, all right, all right. All right, so let's proceed from here. Sorry about that interruption. Okay, so I was trying to break down BTC. So let's get back to this to the chart. Um, share. All right, so I'm on BTC right now. Please let me know if you can see it before I start. I hope you can see the chat now. I'm on BTC right now. Okay, so I was saying here that one thing we have noticed this period, because sometimes you have to be very observant of the market, is that BTC has been giving us deep retracements, right? We've been seeing some really deep retracement. We saw even from this entry that we took. This entry was kind of like a deep retracement. Now it came back the second time, although we did not catch the second buy. It was another deep retracement. And so I'll be expecting that market might still give us another deep retracement for the third flank, right? Before we get to what this zone right here. So at this point, what that means is that I have an area of interest, a POI I'm already seeing here. The market should get to, but this is a 4 hour time frame, so we still have to streamline it. It's very possible that we can get an entry from here if only the market should come and engineer a liquidity closer to this POI instead of here. This place is quite far because there's a breaker block that the market is reacting to, but I still expect more drop for us to drop into this zone for us to push price up here. So I have a buy zone from here and I have a sell zone from here. So either of them are very practical zones that I could take profits or take trades from, right? Now, however, let's streamline this buy zone even more. So I'm going to drop down to the 2 hour time frame. I'm going to drop down to the 2 hour time frame. And then you can see here on the 2 hour time frame, this is the breaker block that market is reacting to right here, right? A very clean breaker block, which could possibly push price up, you know, to somewhere around here before we have another drop again. But I was expecting this. So more of a bearish momentum coming into this zone. Now we can streamline this a little further by putting this down here from the 2 hour time frame, and then what you will now see is something that looks like liquidity based on trend line just around here. So let's bring this down to 1 hour time frame. See, now we have the inner order block here better on the 1 hour time frame, and then I have this liquidity trend line liquidity just around here, and my zone is still confirmed. I'll drop down to 30 minutes. It's even better on the 30 minutes. That's the trend line. Now, this zone still remains. I'm not going to bring down my entry down below here. No, I think that 1 hour is going to be much perfect for my entry. Now you can see that market never came to mitigate this point, right? Even from the 15-minute time frame, this trend line liquidity is still very much valid. So that is the reason why I'll be holding off till what? This 1 hour time frame for us to get a perfect entry. On 1 hour, on 2 hours, it even looks a lot more better, right? On the 2 hour time frame for that entry. So I'm going to be looking to something like this, a long position from this buy zone, right? With about yeah, somewhere around here. Let's just give it a little bit breather, and then we'll drive this all the way up to this zone. Nope, all the way up here like this, all the way up. So yeah, this is what I'll be looking at for BTC. I can just adjust this a little bit around here. 65, okay, sorry, 66, 51, 66,517, right? That's our SL point. And then TP straight up to about 70,600. Right. So this is what I'll be looking at on BTC. So I'll be looking for how to join sell positions coming down to this zone. But I'm not really interested in those sells until maybe on 15 minutes or 30 minutes, I see some really clean, setups that will help push price all the way down here. That is when I can take, because you can see it's building momentum from this breakout block here that could easily push it out. So if it doesn't come to that area, then I'll be waiting for it in this zone. But if it breaks down to this point, this is where I would prefer to take that buy for the next massive impulsive move that will give me a very good risk to reward. Yeah. And remember that patience is always key. Most times you see when we analyze setups like this, and sometimes I may not share it on the Telegram, but while I'm doing this, I believe that you are watching it and you're also, replicating it on your own chat as well so that you can follow it up. It's that easy, right? And if you have noticed, what usually happens is that it may not happen today. This setup may not play out today, but it may play out tomorrow, it may play out the day after, right? So it's just important that you mark that zone and allow price do what it's supposed to do, and then you just follow up. You just follow up. So that is basically it on BTC. This is the nearest setup that I have on BTC, and I believe this is a very good setup that could play out really nicely for us. And then another one that I have now is Chef JPY. Now this Chef JPY, I think someone's asked class in our last live session, right? Someone asked me to check this. And by that time, I think Price have not even done all of these things, right? So going forward now, I've seen that okay, this looks like a very clean setup, although it's a slow pace pair. So we'll just manage based on say I don't really have much setups now, so I'm just managing the crazy currencies that I don't even trade on a normal day. I'm just managing them. If at all, they come to that area, I will take it really nicely. That's what we did with AED USD last time, and AED USD gave me a lot of money based on I was trying to manage the pair, but the pair gave me a lot of money. So this is the setup already. I'm waiting for the schematic is already on the screen, as you can see, because we analyzed this since last week. Now, this market is still trending down, right? As you can see, this is a 4-hour time frame, right? We can see the break of structure clearly to the downside, and you can see here that this is the nearest or the best POI that could give us the continuation to the downside. And why it's the nearest and the best POI is because this order block here is a protected high that swept liquidity before dropping, caused the break of structure, and is engineering liquidity. The only thing now that is really crazy here is that I had this liquidity point and market just snipped it out a little bit, right? Snip this liquidity and drop. However, to me, this is not the liquidity. So this is more, it's just aligning with the liquidity that's here and engineering it more perfectly, right? At first, what I drew looked like a trend line liquidity, but for now, you can see clearly that this liquidity is giving us equal level kind of liquidity, right? Equal highs, equal highs. So basically, this is like the regular liquidity sweep setup, the A plus kind of liquidity setup, where you want to see your order block above and then your liquidity being arranged just below that order block with some imbalance and everything. It's just a basic, and then it broke structure twice, right? So this is like a very basic setup. So I don't think it's a setup you should miss out. You should definitely, okay, let me just even write the coordinates out for easy setup on your own chart. Let me write the coordinates out. It's a sell limit trade, right? Sell limit at the entry is at 200.56. Then SL SL is at 201.16. Then TP is at the low point. So our TP is at 197.700. All right, so this is it. It's It's a almost 1:5 risk to reward, which is pretty good one. So you can have this on. And okay, let me also spell out the coordinates for no, don't worry. For that BTC, I don't think I want to spell out that coordinate because it's going to take time. I want you to wait for it to get there, and then you can also you can get that entry out yourself. So this one is much closer. We might have this one even happening before that BTC happens. So this one is the giveaway for the sell limits. All right. So these two pairs are clean, nice. Apart from this, there's really nothing much again that I have. Okay, I think I have something on USD JPY. So let's check this out. So I've been meaning to sell USD JPY since last week, and it has just been dancing and been crazy all along. So this was the setup I had on USD JPY, right? So I have this break of structure here. On the 4 hour time frame, you can see the last break of structure we have. This market is obviously trending to the upside, right? Please let me know. Are you guys with me? Please let me know in the comment if you guys are still following. I'm on USD JPY. I have given that BTC setup already. Now I will still drop it. Let me okay. What I'm gonna do is let me drop that BTC coordinates. Some people are still asking for that BTC. Let me drop that BTC coordinates, right? It's a buy limit. Hold on, guys. Let me drop that BTC coordinates, please. This is the BTC. It's a buy limit. Buy limit. At 67,018.10. Then the SL is 66,517.39. Then the TP, if you can hold, it's going to be at 70, 629.44. Now the truth is that not everybody can hold this all the way up here, right? Nobody everybody can hold, but if you are able to hold, that's good for you. It's a very clean 1:7 risk to reward. But the thing is, just do it according to your strength, right? According to your psychological strength, because the psychology of holding trade this long is crazy. Now you can get a 1:3 somewhere around here, and you will take. It's fine. You can get a 1:4 and you take out. You're okay. You must not hold. Like one mistake I see a lot of people making. If I drop a long range setup like this, they will want to hold till that TP. It's not bad. Do you understand? It's not bad, but as a trader, sometimes there are some technical things that you see that will make you want to, take out your profit or secure your profit or take some partials. The screen is off again. Are you serious? What kind of network is this today now? I'm really having serious technical issue today. I don't know what's happening with my fiber active today. I have reset it. I don't know. It's not my fault, guys. I'm so sorry. Network is really bad. Okay. I think we're back now. So what I was saying earlier was that sometimes in taking TPL, you may not necessarily hold till that full TP. You understand? Sometimes you can take your profits once you have secured like 1:3, 1:2, 1:4. You must not wait for that whole, this TP to hit. But if you can, no problem. Because sometimes structurally, the market might even change before it gets to that TP point. It does happen sometimes. Let me show you guys an example here on Euro USD, right? Let me show you guys an example. On Euro USD, here, right? So this was the initial setup, right? For Euro USD. You see where that TP was, right? This was where my TP was, and then you see how price came really close to that TP and it did not hit. However, I already took profit out from this point. Then we got a re-entry here. Now, sometimes some people might be waiting for this TP, and at this point, let me show you something. We have already marked out about one is to this is how many pip? This is 22, 20 pip, right? So at this point, 140, that's 1 is to 7 or 1 is to 8 already. I mean, you don't have to be that greedy. 1 is to 8, you're already good to go. This is like a bigger picture. It's a 4 hour time frame. So I'm giving you the TP based on the structure of the 4 hour time frame, but you may not have that weight to hold. So if you've gotten a 1 is to 5 here, 1 is to 4, I think it got to 1 is to 8. That's a very good risk to reward that you could take profit. But if you're waiting for full TP and then you turn out losing the trade again or giving back the profit back to the market, so it's on you, not on me. So please don't blame me. Yeah. And this is another trade that we're still holding though. Euro USD. I didn't want to talk about it again because we're already in the trade. This was since last week. You guys can remember we're already in this trade, and it was a re-entry for this particular movement. That's why I'm not really talking much about this. So there's no setup for any re-entry again. This is the only re-entry that I saw here, but I did not call it out. So we're good on that. Guys, I don't know what's happening today. I really don't know what's happening today. The network is really, really crazy. And if I should reset the network again, everything might just go blank all over again. I really don't know what to do. The network is really acting up. I think when I'm trying to share my screen, that's when the network misbehave. But once I'm just showing myself, it doesn't, go off. So, anyways, if you have any pair you want me to check out, okay, I was trying to show you guys USD JPY, right? So let's do that USD JPY quickly. Please let me know now. Let me share my screen so you let me know if you can see USD JPY because I have some waiting on for there. Okay. All right. So I'm on USD JPY now. Please let me know. Let me know. Can you see the screen? Please let me know if you can see my screen. I'm on USD JPY. All right. All right. So yeah, USD JPY, we saw this last break of structure. The market has been trending up. Yeah, you can see it. This is a 4 hour time frame. So we've been in a massive uptrend. And from this break of structure, you could tell that this is your last low, right? This is the low that caused this break of structure, and this is the highest point you have. So in here is your trading range, right? Very good. So that being said, this is the order block and the low that caused this break of structure. So from the 4 hour, we can draw it down like this. And when you see this kind of mitigation, my students, you already know that this is what a partial mitigation, right? However, we're going to still break this down to see if we still have a POI that has been untapped from this point because we're still very much within this trading range. So I'm going to drop down to the 2 hour time frame. Yep. So your 2 hour time frame, we can see that yes, there's something below right here, and this is going to serve as a liquidity point, right? Because price came really close and then did not mitigate. So yeah, we have this, and if we go down to the 1 hour time frame, let's see. I think the structure is even clearer on the 1 hour time frame. So yeah, we have something here. It doesn't look so good, but at least there's a possible area of interest right there. Okay, so now this is where the setup came in. So if this is the height of my trading range, meaning that there's still a possibility that price can still drop into this zone before we have a massive buy continuation. Now, what are we seeing here? Another POI here, an order block POI that is situated just above this what liquidity that the market just engineered here. Very clean engineered liquidity just around here, right? So now we have an order block POI. That's a sell setup order block that could possibly push price all the way back down to mitigate this zone. So if you know how I trade, I like to look at the market from zone to zone. from zone to zone. Where is the market heading to? Are we going to um are we going to this particular zone, or we're coming down to this zone? So where are we traveling to, from what point to what point? And as you can see here, there's a very possible chance that we're traveling from a resistant level to a support level because of the engineer liquidity around that area. So yes, this is another setup that I'll be looking out for, and it's a very clean one for me. It's going to be a short position from this point right here. Although I'll be expecting the move to happen during the New York session, this USD JPY during the New York session. So we can have a 40 pip stop loss here, and price dropping all the way down to this point, right? To this point. So yeah, this is going to be my setup for USD JPY. So New York session, I should expect market to push up, mitigate this zone for a drop. So another, that's like the third setup we have for today, right? So these are all that I have for now. Okay, let me write out the coordinates for this one. Sell limit, sell limit at 160.147. SL is going to be 160.54. And then your TP is going to be 157.91. So yeah, this is a clean one. It's to 5.5 risk to reward. So there you have it. All right. So let's take pairs from you guys. Which are we looking at? Let me go to the comment section. We have USD JPY, Nikki Japan, US 30 indices. Who is this spamming this? Nikki Japan, Nikki Japan. Let's see. Nikki Japan US 30. I have never, I don't think I've come across or even traded that thing at all. What is the suffix for that? Okay, it's under indices, right? I'm trying to get that Nikki Japan because there's a lot of them here. I don't know which one you're asking for. I hope it's this one. Let's see. So the guy who is asking for that Nikki Japan, is this the same market we're looking at? Is it the same market or we're talking about the regular US 30 that I know? JP225. Okay, better. Okay, so I'm correct, right? This is the market, right? All right. Okay, so let's look at it quickly. And by the way, gold is fucking flying up, man. Gold is flying up. All right. So let me just quickly share this before we go into the US 30. Now, this was another example of that stuff I told you guys just now. When I dropped this setup, okay, I did not drop this one. This was my personal setup. Sorry. It was this second trade that I dropped for the VIP. It was this second trade I dropped for this second entry. But what I'm trying to say is that um, this was the whole buy setup, right? However, I'm not holding to this buy. I'm already out of this trade, the first one, right? This second one, I've already taken profits again. That's two trades already I've taken and I'm already out before even price gets to my ultimate TP. However, I do know that this market will still get to this TP. So it's just to be finding re-entries, because when it comes to gold, I can hold a trade for long on BTC, on Euro USD, or GBP. But when it comes to gold, I don't hold trade that long. I'm in and out that day, especially that session. Once it's London session, as London session is ending, I can at least even hold maybe London to New York, but most times it's within one wave. Once you get that first wave, because trust me, in BTC, in gold, retracements in gold are like impulsive move. So you can try to hold a trade for that long, before you know it, the retracement that will just come will just look like, the market is changing direction, and you go from 100 to 0 in 1 minute. So that's why when it comes to gold, when it makes the move, first 1:5 risk to reward, I'm already out of the market and hold that one, just to help my own psychology to be in balance, right? All right, so let's get to set this Nicki Minaj trade. I don't even give this to Nikki. Okay. All right. So let's start from the weekly time frame, because I haven't seen this in a while. So let's see what the overall market is showing us. Okay. So we are bullish. We're bullish. Um, if we are bullish from the weekly time frame, we've mitigated this point of interest. So I can see here the market has mitigated this weekly zone right here. Right. So now let's go and look at the daily time frame. Okay. So from the daily time frame, this is where that mitigation happened, and I'm seeing a double bottom, change of character, a double bottom, which is a reversal pattern at this point. From this point to this point is a double bottom, still reacting to this point, and then market has ranged inside here. So most times when we have a demand level range, we're expecting a bullish push, right? So everything is showing us that the market is going bullish at this point. Now on the 4 hour, we can start drawing out structures properly. This is where our change of character occurred. Before the change of character, we can see this break of structure to the downside, the break of structure, and this is the low that caused this break of structure. And so we have a change of character here, a market structure shift from this point. So this becomes my trading range, this low and this high, right? So whatever is happening in here is a what? A correction, a retracement. And then I have this order block area of interest on the 4 hour. So now I'm going to break this down to smaller time frames and see. So pretty much it. Then we'll go to the 2 hour time frame. Okay, very well. The 2 hour, now I'm beginning to see the setup clearer. So I have this POI here. This POI is a kind of a classical POI. You know what we call classical POI. This is a very sweet resistant area, right? A sweet resistant area that the market broke out from internal break of structure, pushed up. We never got a mitigation on this. So yeah, this is going to be a very sweet one. This zone. Now all this market is doing is just reacting to all these internal structures, right? So let's come to the 1 hour time frame. So this still aligns with the 1 hour. This is still giving me my inducement liquidity, the latest inducement here. So yeah, and I can see something happening here. This last phase. So all this is internal structure. All this is internal structure. Now 45 minutes. Good. So is there anything that will push this market down? This structure right here is the latest one. Let's see 30 minutes. Yeah. So you have something like this. So this is what can actually, you know, push this market down, this zone here, because you still have some unmitigated part that this market might come down to all the way down here for a massive buy continuation, because we have not filled up this area properly. So now here's the thing. This is the juicy aspect of it. This market is giving us internal break of structures, higher highs and higher lows, right? That's what you're seeing here. This high, this low, this. So, but then it's moving all the way to this particular point. All these ones, we still have unmitigated areas here, unmitigated areas, which may serve as liquidity as well. when this market starts dropping. All this one might be taken out as liquidity. So this is the last point the market might come to for the buy, right? I don't know how volatile this pair is. I know it's crazily volatile, right? So you might need to streamline your entry. So this is a zone, but you might need to get, if you want to get the buy from this particular zone, you might need to, wait for market to drop inside here and give you some confirmations. However, we might have a reaction. We will have a reaction from this point. Market might even sweep this high as a liquidity, then change character to start dropping, because you see all this point that I marked here will definitely come to sweep them out as liquidity before we start engineering another massive buy. Look at the latest buy structure. This latest buy structure was a massive one. Look at this one. This is a correction kind of buy. So this is, you cannot compare this impulsive and this one. So obviously this is what all traps. The next impulsive is going to start from here, pushing all the way up. That is what I'm seeing. Yeah. So Nicki Minaj, I think that is my bias on that particular pair. So what else are we looking at again? I've showed you guys USJPY already. I will drop the schematics on the setups on the Telegram today, so you have no problem with that. I'll drop all of them. This is what else again? CAD CHF. We've touched CAD CHF as well. I've given you guys my setup on CAD CHF. I will still drop that one as well. So there's no need to go back there. So Euro, let's do Euro JPY and end the class here. Euro and JPY, yeah. Let's check out Euro JPY is here, yeah. Let's see, what am I having here like this on Euro JPY? Oh, okay. Euro JPY. I think we had this set up a long time ago, but market never came there. It moved along, left us way behind. All right, so let's go back to the daily time frame. Daily is looking very choppy. All right, so we're still very much bullish with Euro JPY. And this bullish move, okay, let's get something straight here. From the macro sense here, this is okay, let me show you guys something. I'm seeing something here on a bigger level. So on this weekly time frame, we had this massive sell that kind of like changed the character of the market to want to start giving us a massive retracement. Look at the whole pair. So it's very possible that we might have a good retracement all the way back down, right? But now look at the candles that are being forming. After you're trying to understand the structure, also understand the candles that are forming here. You see this massive sell candle, right? It's more like an impulsive move. It's a sweep that happened, a buy and a sell. A buy then a sell back into the structure or below the structure. So then the correction took a lot of time. You can see how many candles: one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, 9 weekly candles just trying to correct to the 50% of this sell, this buy order block, which is telling us that this looks like a retracement move. Now, if you come to the daily time frame, you can see it here clearly, right? Now you can see this gave us like a double top, then it dropped, breaking this structure here, right? But if you look at it again, it's also buying from this zone. So this is more like liquidity mitigation and a push. But this push is not a radical push. It's not an impulsive kind of push. It's a correction push, allowing us to understand that that weekly correction is in check, right? So you can see this whole move is just taking time. It's like what they call a ranging market in a way. But if you look at it, it's a correction from this massive impossible. So there is a tendency of us dropping down as well. And then let's get back to what this particular structure here again. There's another order block here that was created. So now you can see that it looks like we're engineering liquidity around here, right? For a massive sell. So now let's get back to the 4-hour time frame. Now, on the 4-hour time frame, are we in line? Yes, we are in line. Now you can see this is the point where we say we are engineering this liquidity massively around here, just like this. And then market is reacting, and then we can now shift this inside because the area of interest just got smaller from the 4-hour time frame. So it justifies our push, our buys, right? However, we do not get in on this buy. Then there's every possibility that this market will just drop a little bit and then give us that impulsive buy that we're looking for to come mitigate this area. So let me, since we didn't get on this buy, let's go down and streamline so that we can get a perfect sell entry from this zone. Let's come to the 2 hour time frame if you can see anything. Yeah, the structure is now getting clear on the 2 hour time frame. So I can still push this a little higher. Yeah. So we have more zones right here for the market to come clean. So 2 hour is looking better. So that means we still have more areas to cover going up. More areas to cover going up. So if we have more areas to cover going up, it means that we just have more, we still have buy setups to look out for, right? We still have a lot of buy setups to look out for. From this point to this point is very far. So that this just tells me that we have to look for what more buy setups, just looking for buys that will get us into that higher time frame zone. Now we are unable to come to this area, this our buy zone, because this place is still very powerful. Let's look at it on the 1 hour first. Yeah, on 1 hour is still very, very sharp. Yeah, so it's possible that we can still come there. But before we reach here, we want to see a change of market structure shift from here. However, looking at the immediate structure that we're facing right now, this is where we are, right? So since we're still looking for buys to go down there, this is now going to be our next POI for the buy, right? We can see a clear break of structure here, structural break, and we have our inducement liquidity. Market never came close. So let's see what 45 minute looks like. Still power. 30 minutes, yeah. 30 minutes is a lot sharper. A lot sharper. So let me see if we're taking buy from that point, from this point here. I'm putting SAL 25 pips, but if you want to make your SL tight, it's going to be somewhere around here. But I'm just going to leave this as a buy zone. I'm not going to put a particular pending order or price range, right? So I'm just going to leave this as a buy zone. So yeah, this is going to be our next buy zone to push price up. Right, top down analysis from top to bottom. So yeah, this is what you're going to follow up on USD, Euro JPY. Follow up on this buy zone. We still have all the way up here to push. Right. So that's that. Our our time is almost up, so we just have one last one. AUD JPY, and then we are done for the day. AUD JPY, and then we're done for the day. So let's just quickly look at AUD JPY. JPY. And we're done for the day. Very similar to Euro JPY. Very similar to Euro JPY. Let's see. Let me hide all of this so I can see clearly. Okay, AUD JPY on the daily time frame is showing us it's a bullish market all in all. It's trying to like start a new bullish impulsive move. Let's get down to the 4 hour. I think this way I can see clearer structures. Okay. Something interesting happening here. Hold on. Okay, so something interesting happening here. Yes, we are bullish overall, but we have a market structure shift. This is the low. Let me show you something. So this is the low point that caused this break of structure, and the market has reacted to this order block zone. So now we have a breaker block here. So we have a breaker block here on the daily time frame. This is the daily time frame breaker block area. Market reacted, but it did not push up. So yes, this breaker block is still valid, and then it's a cost to push market down. So let's go back to the 4 hour now and see. Now on the 4 hour, this breaker block zone have its own area of interest right here. That is this order block right here. It is unmitigated and it has the right to push price down. Now, from what we're seeing, if this is an order block here, You see the market is already reacting to this order block, right? That's why I have all these weeks here. And then what I'm seeing here now is very powerful because from this point here, after all this is like the rejection candlestick we talked about, right? But if this market should reject in all this place, like in this place, like give us so many rejections, and then this bullish candle closes, because in the next 5 minutes, this is a 4 hour candle, in the next 5 minutes, this candle is going to close. If it closes here, it means that it has done this mitigation, and if the next 4 hour candle closes as a sell back into the structure, then we can have a massive sell that is going to happen. That is a candle sweep entry, right? That is exactly what's going to happen. So, preferably with AEDJPY, if you want to go, if you want to be aggressive, now is not is the time to sell now. If you want to be aggressive, right? Because of this order block, this is the time to sell for the aggressive entry. However, I'll prefer you wait. If you don't want to be aggressive, you wait for this candle to close like this, because what is happening here now is like this candle is sweeping this liquidity and closing as a body, full bodied candle. The next one might come and continue going up, or it might drop back into the structure. Now that's the confirmation we're looking for. When the market, the next candle drops back into the structure, then you know that this zone is going to hold. You can easily enter a trade immediately after that candle closes as an engulfing or a tweezer or a harami candle. Any of these three can give you the candle confirmation to actually sell. So I won't ask you to be aggressive. I would rather, me personally, I prefer to be what conservative. Yeah, I'll wait for this candle to close and the next 4 hour candle to close as what engulfing or a tweezer, then we can enter a sell from the close of the candle right here. So that's it on AED JPY. It's also a very good setup, but you just have to wait. All right, I think we're going to end the class here. Today we had so many network glitch. I will drop all the setups that I just analyzed on the Telegram for you guys today, so you can as well follow up on your own end. If you got any value from this class today, if you learned something, please don't forget to leave a like. Just like this video so that you can always come back to it so someone else can also see it as well and then learn one or two things from it. Thank you very much. See you guys next time. Remember to follow up on this setup. So don't just come and watch like movie and go. Follow up so that you can also make money for yourself and always apply your risk management while you're trading. Very, very important. All right. Bye, guys. See you guys next week.